So I've been asked the question a couple of times about my video setup, how I do it, because my videos look so clean and stuff. Good quality shit. So I'm gonna show you right now. Starting with the camera. Right, so the camera I use is this one right now. I'm filming this with my old Sony HDRS 200V. I switched over to GoPro because it's got a lot of settings that the Sony just doesn't have. I don't know if the other Sonys do have it, but this one didn't. And the form factor of it, so you could put it in the front of your helmet on the chin, and that, in my eyes, is the best position for your camera. So what I do is I film in 4K 24 FPS. I usually prefer 24 FPS to 60. I never ever film in 60 or 48. That's because it's got a nice look to it in my eyes, and you can play a lot more with the other settings of the camera. So ISO and shutter time. You want to keep, at least I do, I want to keep the longest shutter time, so the slowest shutter speed, which gives you the nice flowing motion blur kind of effect, like this.
Yeah.
As opposed to this without the longer shutter time.
Dick face.
What helps with that as well is an ND filter. It's this thing. So this one is broken. I've ordered a new one, but you put it on the camera like this and everything is darker. So when it's darker and the ISO is low, ISO is the sensitivity of your camera to light, and when it's not sensitive to light, you get less grainy footage, which is better looking. So you want to keep the ISO lower, as low as possible at all times. So during the day, the lowest this camera goes is 400. I keep it at 400. At night, 400 at 24 FPS is also sufficient if there's enough light. Usually I take it up to 8 or 1600 just in case. It's a little bit grainy, but definitely doable. Right, sometimes I film in 1080, 24 or 48 FPS, and the only reason why I film 48 FPS is to get some nice slow motion going, potentially. That's really the only reason. I render in 24 FPS, that's the way I do it. And also, for some reason, the 48 FPS 1080 is grainier. It's not as sharp as 1080 24 FPS. Either way, try to film as high as resolution as possible, which is 4K on this camera, 24 FPS in super view. Also, super view, another positive about the GoPro. You get a bigger field of view up and down, so it films in 4:3 instead of 16:9, and then it squishes it down to 16:9. So the relative sizes are not exactly perfect, so people look like they're fatter. They're just squished down a little bit. The proportions, they don't match anymore. Yeah, so that's that. Also with the mounting point of the GoPro, at least, not Sony. Sony is just, they're nice cameras. Like quality wise, I think they're better than GoPro battery wise as well. But the form factor of the Sony is kind of shitty. It's quite a long camera, and this one is just flat, so you can put it in the front. And if you want to mount it in the front, most helmets it's pretty easy. Like, I don't know if you can see. Let me get some light on that. Right, they're kind of giving out the stickers. I might need to put some new stickers on there. The 3M double-sided stickers. Well, see, it's simple. It's a simple setup. It's just two arms, one 90 degrees, one just extension arm, and a sticker in the front, and that's it pretty much. I know some people they go way overboard. They put the sticker somewhere here and they have like a bunch of arms going to the front, which is just not for me, and it shouldn't be actually for anyone. Keep it as simple as possible. Like, the more stuff you have, the more angles that can go wrong, the more things that can break, and the more shakiness you're gonna get. Right, the reason I use the Hero 4 is because I don't like the big ass adapter, the mic adapter on the Hero 5, 6 and 7 now. And compared to the 5, the sensors are pretty much the same as far as I've understood. Like, there's no noticeable difference. It all comes down to the editing, color correction, and rendering of the video that you're gonna notice a quality difference in general. Of course, the new cameras are better, but generally not significantly better that you're gonna notice a difference. The Hero 3 to the Hero 4 is a whole different discussion. The Hero 3 is the Hero 4 is quite a step above the Hero 3. So if you're going for any GoPro, my advice is go with the 4 or the 7. Keep it as close to the visor as possible so that you can still open it properly and reach everything. See, I can't really put it any higher without kind of messing up my ability to use this vent right here. Not that I use it that often, but I want to have the ability to use it whenever I want to. But yeah, chin mount above everything. And then the second to that will be the side mount right there, or the top mount. Just no. Not a good view. First of all, the helmet looks stupid as fuck. Second of all, it's just way too high and you don't see a motorcycle. It's just like a floating head above traffic. It's a floating point of view above traffic. It's not a good view in my eyes. Right, continuing to editing, I suppose. Right, so what I use for editing is the Sony Vegas 13, and I don't know how much it's changed compared to the 12. I think I used the 11 back in the day. Didn't notice much of a difference. Right, so what you do is, what I do, the most important part of editing is actually matching your file bitrate to the export bitrate. So as you can see here, it's around, I film in 4K 24 FPS. You can see the FPS right here, right there, and that's the bitrate. So when you render, you want to render at the same or similar bitrate. So you can see this is my preset right here that I've made. This is rendering with the GPU. This with the CPU, same setup. GPU is generally faster, so that's what I use. See, OpenCL for AMD, CUDA with what was it? NVIDIA. So AMD ATI, that's OpenCL. That's what I use. 60, 61 average maximum, and it matches this one pretty closely, slightly above it, but meh. So as long as you're in the ballpark, you're good. Also, when you film in 24 FPS or 48 FPS or whatever, you want to turn off the resampling. It's I think it's called different in different programs, but on Sony Vegas, you go on your video, you select it, right click it, switches, and the resample, disable the resampling, unless you set up your preset that you're editing in is the same FPS. But if you're filming in 48 FPS, you're rendering in 24 FPS, and sometimes doing slow motion like I do, you want to disable the resampling. Otherwise you're gonna get blending of frames, which the program kind of tries to make you look smoother, and it works if it's a simple video. So I don't know, something with a white background and just one part moving, the camera standing still, then it works. But if there's a lot of things happening, you get like a ghosting effect, which is not a good look. I always render in 4K, and that is to kind of mess with the YouTube compression. So if it's 1080, you get a lot of artifacting, especially if there's a lot of quick changing scenery, so like trees and stuff going by. It just looks terrible on YouTube. But in 4K, that problem is solved, and it looks all nice and sharp like it did on your computer, even if you're watching it on a 1080 screen. So yeah, that's how I motovlog, and I feel like it's a great way to do it. See, the thing is also, order a bunch of these adapters, the GoPro to 3.5mm microphone adapter, because a lot of those just don't work properly. You get one channel, or you don't get the proper audio, you get like just the connection doesn't work exactly. I don't know exactly why that is, but order a bunch of them, so some of them work, some of them don't, but at least you'll have some to do, and order different ones. I got this one from Amazon. Right, and the microphone I use is the Sony ECM S3, I think it's called. It's pretty much a default microphone for Hero 4. As long as you insulate it well, it's gonna work great. Keep it away from your mouth or nose, because otherwise you get breathing. I still got issues with that, but you know, not too much, not enough to bother me really. So I just left it. And this is the RF11 helmet, just in case if you're wondering. Great helmet. So that's how to do it. At least that's how I do it.